Bam! Baby shot in the beginning. This is baby Taylor. He's ready for his first vlog. Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Mwah. Hey, everybody, and welcome to our first newborn vlog, I guess is what we're calling it. We have gotten in the habit of recording these pregnancy vlogs every week, and so we thought we might as well continue with newborn vlogs for each week.
Yep, so week one of newborn life.
Taylor is 1 week and 1 day old today. We're recording this on Saturday. And so we thought we'd go over with you everything since our last one, because we recorded our last pregnancy vlog the day before the due date. We got that recorded and uploaded. Then the girls went with my mom right after that to spend the night.
On Thursday.
And then we kind of did a mad dash of cleaning, like one last chance. So
yeah, I think Michael said that day, like, the last thing he wanted to do was clean until midnight. Well, guess what we did? We cleaned until midnight.
Yeah, we were. It was midnight. We were still cleaning. I think I went to bed at 3 in the morning, and we had our alarm set for 5. So I got about 2 hours of sleep. Hilda at least napped a little bit during the day that day.
Yeah.
So she probably got a little bit more. But it was definitely better than Emily and Zoe, where we were in the hospital for at least 3 days each, getting no sleep because of labor. And then we had the C-section, and then we went through multiple days of no sleep with baby. So this, at least, even though we were tired the morning of, we were definitely way more refreshed than with Emily and Zoe for the C-section.
Yes.
So that definitely made it easier. We did wake up at 5. We drove there. They had changed our dates, so originally we were supposed to be there at 8, and they had called on Wednesday and told us 7, that we needed to be there an hour earlier, which we thought maybe for antibiotics because of her strep B. So we didn't really question it. We got there, and they're like, oh, you're early.
There was, no staff to, take care of us.
And we're like, no, we came an hour earlier because you guys told us. And they all seemed very confused.
We're like, what? Why?
We ended up in the waiting area for like half an hour.
And then
took a little nap.
I laid down on the couch to close my eyes.
Yep. And then they called us back in. So we ended up getting in like a half an hour earlier than we expected. C-section was scheduled for 9:30, I think. I think
it started about that time, didn't it?
I think I went in around 9:45.
Yeah.
So I think they wheeled her back around 9:15. I think 9:15, and then I was sitting in the waiting area, or all dressed up and ready to go for about half hour, 40 minutes. It was actually a while. But, well, a lot of that will be in the birth video. Oh,
bless you.
He's got funny expressions. A lot of that will be in the birth video, so I'm not going to go into too many details, because that's a lot of what we were recording then, was at the hospital and leading up to it. But suffice it to say, everything went pretty smooth, and baby Taylor ended up being born via C-section at 10:08 a.m.
Yeah.
He weighed 7 pounds exactly.
Yep.
And he was 19 and a half inches long. So he was pretty close to what we said in the last vlog an average baby was. Because Hilda was officially a full 38 weeks pregnant. And then that Thursday was like week 39. So she was 1 day into the 39th week.
Right. But they wanted to do it early to avoid the labor.
So that is the day of his birth. We got back in. I think we had family coming around. We texted them around 1 or 2, and they ended up kind of showing up around 3 to 4.
Yeah.
We had my mom and the girls come then, which was really special. They were so excited to meet him. He checked out really good on that scale. Yeah.
He was only 1 number off, and that was
because of his skin color.
It took him like a minute and a half to get regular looking skin, which freaked me out at first because I was like, a purple baby, but I was all drugged up in surgery, so I think I was a little paranoid.
And she hadn't seen the babies when they first came out, because at the last hospital we were at, they had it like off to the side where the mom couldn't see. And I would go over there and kind of look at the baby while they clean him off and get him to cry and cough and weigh him and all
Yeah.
that, and then they'd bring it over to Mom. And this
That's
one,
true.
it was in like full view of her, so she was definitely freaking out a little more.
Yeah.
He handled the drugs pretty good. That was her big nervousness of the whole thing.
I know, I'm kind of a lightweight, so the thought of having a spinal and, like, too much drugs, I thought, like, I would have a hard time, because it seemed like the last 2 C-sections, I felt like I, was going to stop breathing or was going to have issues, but they did a really good job, and the anesthesiologist talked me all the way through.
Yeah, kept asking
everything.
her questions about the farm and
we talked about the turkeys and the chickens and
everything.
Everything.
Just kept her kind of thinking and aware. And the surgeon at the end said everything was smooth C-section, no complications, nothing went wrong. That was just as perfect as they could expect. So that was good.
And my other concern was that I had the low hematocrit. It got down to like 28. They kind of warned us that I might need a blood transfusion, but I didn't need any blood transfusion. So everything turned out like the best possible outcome.
Yeah.
Healthy baby, healthy mom, everything. We ended up with little Taylor.
Yeah. So then we were admitted, and they went through the whole usual first day. Ooh. He's working on something down there. Yeah, the first day everything went real smooth, and they did all the checks. And, we tried to breastfeed during the C-section, which they said you could, which we'd never done before.
I know. I was
As
like, really?
expected, that didn't really work. He had some latching problems for the first 3 or 4 times that first day, but he always ended up latching on and doing it. And it was really the next day that he became a pro at it, let's say.
Yeah, he advanced quite rapidly.
And now there's been no problems. So the first day the girls came around 4-ish or something like that, and they brought a balloon, said it's a boy. They brought flowers. They were dressed up in their newborn outfits and celebration.
I bought the matching outfits.
And they looked very cute, and you could just tell they were so in love with baby brother. They just could not take their eyes off of him. They constantly wanted to take turns holding him. They've wanted to change diapers, but we kind of told them that'll be later. Yeah, they just were so in love, so that was really cute to see.
Special.
And they're old enough now. When we had Zoe and Emily was like almost 2, it was different. It was harder. You weren't sure what Emily was thinking. She seemed a little, she couldn't really hold the baby, but she tried.
Emily was so exhausted.
Yeah, and she was exhausted from all the labor and the days leading up to it. So having spent the night, I guess they woke up at like 6 a.m. or something because they were so excited.
I think Grandma was exhausted because she was like yawning. And it was nice too because the last time Mike had to take care of Emily at home because she was too little to like spend the night at Grandma's house at the time.
True.
So I was left with a newborn, post-surgery, and just like, it was really rough.
Speaking of which, I've recently rewatched our labor video for Zoe. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link up here. It's kind of interesting to see. We went through a lot of labor at home, a lot of labor in the hospital to end up with a C-section, and you could just tell we were pretty exhausted. So Hilda's grandpa and mom came over and visited. They did great.
Oh, I guess the one bummer thing was Mike's dad was traveling, and he was supposed to like be there. His goal was to be there like at 11 at the hospital, and due to the flight cancellations, he didn't even get to make it to see the baby that day. So
that night, baby slept pretty good. He was feeding. That's kind of when he started to cluster feed, but not too bad. And there was a period of like 1 to 4 that he slept straight through in his little nursery crib. And that was a relief. We got a good solid 3 hours of sleep. And at 4 in the morning is when they kind of woke up to do all the tests on Hilda.
4 in the morning is when they come in and do your labs. And they checked his bilirubin and they did the PKU. They poke his little foot, and then they squeeze out the blood.
He hated that.
I
slept through most of it.
It was like torture. I think Mike, he was sleeping through it. I'm like, oh, the poor baby. But then I wasn't too bad off because I used to be a phlebotomist, so I'm used to, like, poking little newborn babies, but when you're a baby, it's really, like, sad to hear him crying.
Yeah, and he did not like that. He spent probably the
ruined his
next
day.
12 hours, like, just kind of being sad because of that, is what we figured. And after that, once he got over it, like, the latter half of the day, he got better. But
he was really upset over that poke.
He did not like it. He started having poops that day, which is something they're always wanting. He had 4 or 5 black tar poops that day, which was good. He was a bit jaundiced. His bilirubin came back elevated, I think.
The first day it came back as high.
Yeah, and so...
we're a little concerned about that.
But pooping is good. That'll kind of flush it out of the system, so we're happy about that. And then the second day, my dad finally came, saw the baby.
We took some really cute pictures.
We did. Some of the best pictures were when my dad was there. The girls came again. And actually that day it was going so well that I decided to leave. He was sleeping like perfect. There was no issues.
Yeah.
So I decided to leave, come back home. I wanted a blanket was my main motivation because the
hospital blankets are terrible.
It's just horrible. So I wanted to come get a blanket, but I also wanted to work on a couple of videos. So I got a couple of videos edited, uploaded, and scheduled so I wouldn't have to worry until we came back home. But that ended up working pretty good. I got back there like 10 or so. And baby slept a little less good that night. I remember being up quite a bit. I think he slept for like a 2-hour chunk maybe.
And then they came in at 4 in the morning to do the poke again.
And that's kind of what they do.
Yep. The bilirubin went up to 9, which seems like, oh no, it went from 6 to 9. So it was increased, but then it's a different reference for
it's a different day. He's older. So he was okay to go home. We didn't have to do him under the lights or anything. And we did a little photo shoot before we went home.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to make a slideshow video of that, but I'll put in a couple highlights here.
My favorite's the sunflowers.
It actually turned out pretty good. And we went home. I think we were discharged a little after 11. So then we went home, and that was
the drive
a tough
home.
drive. He was not having look, he's remembering it right now. He did not like the car seat. He did not like being in the car. And he screamed for the first half hour, at least. When we were on the freeway, we couldn't pull over. We had made him as happy as we could before. Changed his diaper, fed him. He just was not having it.
I think he was freaked out because he couldn't see us, too.
Yeah. And it was first time outside. And
the sensation of the moving car.
Mm-hmm. And we did not think to put mittens on him, and he ended up scratching.
He just sat there and like he tore his face apart.
He scratched his whole face up, and
we had mittens, but we didn't put them on.
And we ended up stopping at the drugstore to get Hilda's painkillers, and that's when he finally calmed down. Then he slept the rest of the way home, which was like 20 minutes or so. And ever since then, he's loved the car. That was a really rough time. But now when we put him in the car seat, he just goes straight to sleep. So we're going to pause for a feeding and a diaper change. Bam! There's Mr. Taylor. Mr. Taylor James. He's wanting some food. Thought I'd give you a little intermission. His eyes are open. He's got a clean diaper. And he's saying, Dad, I want some milk. Yeah, that's what I want. You see yourself? He's going to eat his hand until he gets some milk. He's got good neck strength, too. Ever since the day he was born, he moves his neck way more than Emily or Zoe. Look at that. All right, he found my boob. All right, back to Sunday. So that's the day we came home. That was also Emily's birthday. She turned 9 years old. And,
August 12th.
Yep, and Grandma, my mom, brought pizza and root beer floats.
Yes.
That was kind of her big
Caesar
thing.
salad.
And Caesar salad. We had a good old family gathering here where we just ate and opened up those gifts. And it was pretty nice. So. And
both the grandmas got Emily balloons, which was really nice. And Mike's dad came too. So that was extra special because the girls were really wanting to spend time with Grandpa. And it was nice because we didn't have to do anything to prayer. Mike's mom basically just took care of
Yeah.
the party for us.
We had wrapped the presents. That's part of why she stayed up so late that night before, when she was wrapping the presents we had got her. There was not much else to report that day. The main concern was Taylor hadn't pooped since the night we got discharged, that midnight. Yeah, and that was the worry, because with Emily, she didn't poop or pee for 24 hours, and that was like 911, go to Children's Hospital, stay there for 2 nights while they hydrate her. Ended up being that she was just dehydrated. But the main thing to report on Sunday, we were worried about the no poops, but that's when Mom's milk came in. So that, like, right after midnight, she was like, I think my milk just came in, and sure enough, that's what happened. So he slept pretty good. I mean, we were up like at least every 2 hours, a lot of times every hour, but that's just kind of what you do with a newborn.
Yeah.
So then on Monday, we went for his first doctor's appointment. His doctor, the girl's doctor, we had him the same one, which is actually in Seattle, but because she was so good with Emily's pancreatitis, we wanted to keep the same one. And she was actually on vacation, so we scheduled it with someone else, made the trip down to Seattle. We were a little nervous with the car ride because of the day before, but he just slept through the whole thing, not a peep whatsoever.
And he had the girls in the back.
So we went to the doctor. Everything checked out good.
She wasn't worried about the pooping or...
No, she kind of eased our mind on that. She said as long as he's got wet diapers for the number of days old that he is, which he's had more than that, then they're fine and the poop should come soon enough. And sure enough, that night...
Oh, they came.
He started pooping it up again. So let's talk about the weight. So he had weighed 6.5 pounds,
at
basically.
The lowest.
When we went on that Monday, which was normal. They said he lost 5%, and kind of 10% is the most they want him to lose. So that wasn't anything to worry about. It was pretty much normal, and then they wanted to weigh him again on Thursday, so we scheduled that. And that was pretty much it for Monday. Not much more to report. Tuesday we had Hilda's doctor's appointment scheduled with her, not her OBGYN, but her normal doctor, because her face totally freaked out on us.
It's been red most of the pregnancy, but then after birth, I finally got to take a shower, and it just, like, was
Exploded.
Bright red and just super, super nasty and just gross. I don't know, like...
So yeah, Hilda was on some gel cream that the regular doctor had put her on for what we thought was rosacea for her face. She was putting that on daily up until the birth, and that helped quite a bit. You can see from the maternity pictures, which she'd been using it about a week or so.
Yeah, a lot of the redness had gone away.
Cleared up quite a bit. It wasn't as dry. It seemed like it was working. And then that day after the birth, when she took the shower, it just looked all blotchy and red and different. And
kind of infected.
Yeah, and the medicine wasn't doing anything. So we were pretty worried about that. And when we went to the doctor, he seemed to think it might be a strep infection on her face.
Then he did a culture of it to try to, verify that it was strep, or he said it could even be like a staph infection. And we're like, oh no, that sounds terrible, because it can be really contagious. So...
But he got you on some antibiotic ointment, and we started using that right away. It has worked really good. I mean, she's putting it on 3 times a day.
My face is still red, but compared to the redness I was experiencing, it's so much better. And then I checked online, and the lab test came back that it was not strep, and it wasn't staph. So it must be just some viral infection. That's kind of crazy, or bacterial infection, because it's responding to antibiotics, right? So
I'm glad we went to that. I was kind of thinking it'd be a wasted trip to that doctor, but turns out it was worth it. So
every time I've gone to my doctor, I've been super grateful, because I feel like he knows all the answers to all the problems that I'm having, and he really listens, and he just has really good insight on what could be the problem and what the answer is.
That was pretty much Tuesday. That night was a bit of a rough night. Babies just decided to start sleeping all day and being up at night all night.
I think it was going to the doctor. He had slept for 4 hours too.
Both days, Monday and Tuesday.
Monday and Tuesday,
And he'll sleep, 3 or 4 hours straight during the day, and then he'll wake up. But then at night, he turns into that. It's just like he wants to cluster feed I was recording every feeding, and it was like every 30 minutes he was wanting to feed again, like all night. So, it was pretty rough.
I think cluster feeding's kind of been the theme of the whole week, though. Mm-hmm. Is like, and then I started reading about cluster feeding because I kind of forgot, in the back of your mind, but it turns out that last little bit of milk has the highest fat content. Mm-hmm. So the reason they want to cluster feed is so they can get to that high fat content.
Yeah, the whole milk. Wednesday, we were all kind of sleep deprived, but the normal thing was Hilda would I'd stay awake up until about 3.
Yeah.
And then I would go to sleep. Hilda would do the nighttime feeding.
3 to 6 a.m. shift.
She was starting to change diapers because up until we got home, I had changed all the diapers.
I think it was like day 4 before I had even touched a diaper or something, which is
She got
ridiculous.
to avoid the black tar poop.
Yeah.
But then she would kind of stay up with them at night and do that. I mean, I don't have the plumbing for it to help him out at night. And then in the morning, I would wake up around 9 or 10 and take baby out of the room. The girls would hold him and entertain him while she got at least a couple hours of sleep. So that was pretty much what we did the whole week. And that seemed to work out. Wednesday was the one day we weren't going anywhere. Mm-hmm. So that was nice. We kind of just stayed home and relaxed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that brings us to Thursday. That was the second doctor's appointment with the pediatrician.
Second trip to Seattle.
Baby did great. Slept the whole way there. We kind of did the same thing. Went to the mall for a little bit afterwards and then came home. The thing to report is he had gained 2 ounces per day since Monday. And so he was right under his birth weight. He was like 6 pounds and 14 ounces or something like that. So he should be back to his birth weight now if he's still on that plan. Everything else looked good. The real doctor got to see him. And we also got in with the circumcision doctor and scheduled that for next week. She said everything looked good in terms of doing that. So I think we'll go into that more next week when it's probably the main thing on our mind.
Friday the girls got to have a sleepover at their friend's house.
Mm-hmm. They were doing a birthday party on Saturday. Yeah. They weren't sure they wanted to spend the night originally.
Or Zoe wasn't sure.
Yeah, Zoe wanted to be with baby brother, but eventually she got convinced into it, and I think it was good for them. So Friday night ended up being our best night. Baby and mom both slept from like 10 to 12 while I was just playing video games. And then they woke up till about 2, and then we kind of did our normal thing, but he only woke up like 3-ish times during the night, and we actually got to sleep in until
12:30.
Yeah, so
it felt wonderful.
That felt like the most sleep we had gotten since
6 months ago.
Yeah, for a while.
For me, at least, Michael.
For quite a while, because that week before I was staying up late too. That week before.
That's true. Michael, he couldn't sleep either. Like at the end of the pregnancy, like he was staying up till like 3 in the morning.
It's just my body training me for it is what I figured out. I mean, you're up till 3 now, and I can do it because I was up till 3 before. But it's kind of interesting. Like I just couldn't sleep, and I didn't know why. And kind of now, I think it's my body's way of getting me used to that for the newborn.
I'm like, I should just sit sideways.
Yeah, show off the baby.
See this
pretty
cutie.
Much almost done. So Friday night was awesome. We slept until 12:30. We went and picked up the girls at the party, and then we took them to my mom's house, and they're going to a Mariners game tonight, and hopefully tonight goes as well as last night did. I just want to wrap it up saying the girls have been such a big help. They'll put away the dishes when I ask them to. They'll fold laundry. They'll move the laundry. I mean, I've been pretty much doing all of that because Hilda's out of commission. Hilda can't lift anything bigger than the baby, so really she can lift the baby and the diaper bag.
And I'm not supposed to do stairs either, so that's hard. Well, I mean, I can walk up the stairs, but I'm not supposed to carry the baby and do stairs.
But the girls, like Emily, as little mama, she'll carry the baby up the stairs. She's good at that. They're both changing diapers. They pretty much fight over who's going to change the diaper, although it's not quite that bad.
No.
they want to just cuddle with them. We did bonding, skin on skin time
with both the girls.
Which they thought was super special. And I think that actually bonded Taylor to Emily and Zoe more. Mm-hmm. Because he was a little iffy around them at first, but then after the skin on skin, he seemed fine with them holding him. Yeah. So I'm super appreciative of them. We realize they're going back to school in about 3 weeks, and they are super bummed that they're not going to be around their baby brother all the time.
He's just the sweetest little thing.
Let's kind of do a close-up of baby a little bit more, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. Let us know what you thought of this video. I know this one's going to be a little long. I don't think future ones will be all that long. We just had a lot to talk about with the C-section and hospital. Look next week for the birth video. I'm not gonna wait a year like I did with both girls to post the birth video. It'll come out in the next week or so sometime. And with that, I think we are done. It feels a little weird not to do a belly shot, so let's do a baby shot. Hey Taylor. His shirt says, "Hug me," with a big bear.
Oh yeah, he's got little knees.
He's got bears on his knees.
He's got the cutest little toes.
Look at those little toes. They're so wrinkly and cute. Long toes. He came out with super long fingernails, too.
Yeah, super long fingernails.
Weapons. There he is. He reminds me so much of Emily and Zoe. I'm not sure which one more, but he's kind of like a combination. And look at all that hair. Can you believe he had all that hair at birth?
And he's got the birthmarks on his eyelids. See the little red marks? Those are birthmarks right there. And then he's got 3 little dots on his forehead.
The angel kisses are what they call the eyelid ones.
Yeah.
Angel kisses. And on the back of his head, he's got the stork bite. Right
Is that Chub?
Yep, that's the stork bite.
The doctor said, "You thought you did all the work, but it was the little stork." He's just so cute.
All right, wave bye-bye, baby.
Say bye. Bye.